just a bloke in a bar.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another episode of Pack Her Up, boys. It's time for that beer, that first cold beer on a Friday arvo. Oh, that's so good. It's as good as the first day I had it. Unbelievable stuff. Bloke beer. Get in your local, grab a case of bloke beer. Beer for blokes that turn up. It's Friday, guys. It's Friday. You had a tough week. Just pack it all up. Pack her up, boys. Put it in your mind in the back and reopen it on Monday. Enjoy your weekend, guys. Pack her up, boys. It's about everything. It's about footy, but it's also about nothing at the same time. But before we get into it, OG drop this Monday, 6 p.m. That's right. You can see me right now wearing the OG colours in the bloke spray jacket. Limited edition spray jackets, a limited number. And also the OG bloke shirts are back. The brown, our most popular bloke shirts. Haven't sold them for years and years. The brown and orange, but in an upgraded material and cut. Perfect gift for Father's Day. So if you're not going to buy it for yourself, get your missus to buy it for you for Father's Day. But to be honest, I think a lot of people are going to want to buy it for themselves. This is one of my favourite. This jacket, outside of jerseys, this jacket for me is my favourite. I cannot stop wearing it everywhere. So that is Monday, 6 p.m, guys. You don't want to miss out. And if you're on the fence, it is the best way to support Bloke. If you get hours and hours and hours of free content on Bloke and you want to go, you know what? I want to support Bloke. Monday, 6 p.m, set your alarm, grab a shirt or a jacket, and we'd really, really appreciate it. Don't forget, like and subscribe on YouTube. If you're watching this on YouTube, give us a subscribe, like the video, leave a comment. And also on Apple and Spotify, leave us a nice review. It helps the show. We really would appreciate it. Matty, how you been, mate?
I'm good. I'm just sitting here marinating in this jacket. Like, I'm not, like, no mayo. It's so comfy.
They're the sickest jackets.
They're so sick. They're light, so they're seasonal. So you can wear them whenever. It's great. But yeah, I'm good. I'm actually going away this weekend, which is nice. Getting out of Sydney, going to Mudgee. So I'll go after this. But yeah, pretty excited. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. I tell you what, we've been doing a lot of, I've been working hard on a project that is coming very soon. I'm talking in the next 4 weeks. Most of my time that isn't dealt with the podcast for the last 12 to 16 months has been focused on this. That's what I've been working on. Pack Her Up, boys, is for the audience that the hardcore audience of Bloke. But yeah, I really hope you like this, what we're bringing to the fore in a month or so, because we've been working our asses off on it, and I personally been working my ass off on it. I wanted to bring a smile to people's faces. Let's just put it. I'll leave it at that. A little package of delight. Let's just put it that way. It's something new that you guys are really going to enjoy. And yeah, we've been working our asses off it. We've built certain things for it, put a lot of money into it, risked a lot for it. So we hope people really like it. I'm actually quite nervous about it. People will see the end result. Like, even when we first launched Bloke and the beer and that, you just get so nervous because you're like, you've put for example, this new thing that's coming, it's all my idea. Same with the Bloke, it's all my idea, it's all my branding. So you're putting yourself out there. Like, if you put a product out there that's been your idea, it's your branding and all that kind of stuff, and people reject it, you almost feel like you're getting rejected. So yeah, that's coming very soon. Starting to shoot content for it and everything. Everything's ramping up, but it has been the main, outside, obviously the podcast is always the main focus, but outside of that, this has been the main focus, and I think people are going to like it. It's
pretty exciting because it's just been in the background for ages now, and it's finally a long time.
And we've risked we spent a lot of cash in setting this all up. And granted, you got to risk to hopefully build things for the future. But yeah, we spent a lot on it, and it's just, it's one of those things. You're starting something new. It's not too new, guys. Don't worry. Nothing's changing here. The podcast is always number one. It's nothing like that. It's just something to add on top of it. It's exciting. It's super, super exciting. I cannot wait. But at the same time, that nervous trepidation of you have all these plans and you're months and months away, so you don't have to worry about it. But as you get closer, you start going, oh man, I hope it goes okay. So that's what I've been doing, bro. That's what I've been doing. What else has been going on, bro? How's the algorithm going for you?
The algorithm is actually, you'd like my algorithm at the moment. It's very Euro-based. As you know, I'm going to Europe just very, very quickly in a month or so. So I've just been looking at all kind of Italian landmarks and Greek landmarks online, and it's kind of come through on my Instagram. So it's full Euro at the moment, which is hectic.
What's the most exciting?
Well, the wedding's on a yacht on a Greek island, so I think that'll be the coolest thing. And then, like, we're because it's the middle of final, so I'm hitting and running, but go in there, stay there for a day, go to the wedding, and then we're just jetting off to Italy for 2 nights and then come straight back. So I've never been to Italy before, so I'm pretty excited for that.
So how long are you going away in total?
So probably a week.
A week.
A week, yeah.
The hardest thing will be the jet lag when you get back. Holy heck. But Italy is incredible. Man, going to Italy again, I would love to go to Europe again. Italy is absolutely amazing. Algorithm check for me, geez, I'd say after the Olympics, I mean, I just cannot get over how good the Olympics was. Algorithm check for me, it has actually been, I've been so busy with work. I've been so busy with work that I don't really have much of an algorithm check. Maybe some late video games coming out, but outside of that, it's just all been footy for me. It's just all been footy. I've just been so focused in on heading into the final season, making sure I'm reading as much as I can and like looking at the squads. But yeah, the last week or so, I had my son's birthday, which was cool, but that's obviously not part of the algorithm. And son's birthday this weekend, which will be cool. But outside of that, yeah, Algo check for me, it's the first week where I don't really have a topic because I've been so like busy with everything. So busy with everything, which is...
Sorry, go back. What are you doing for Rain's birthday?
Oh, just in the park somewhere.
Yeah, nice.
Like just your typical, like to be honest, he doesn't care. He doesn't know. He's never going to remember.
He won't remember,
it's
yeah.
more for the family to get together.
Yeah.
Which is cool, which is always cool. So I'll be able to see the whole family, which is great. Alrighty, guys, Sportsbet Break the Duck. They've got a new, not necessarily a feature, but new little thing going on, Break the Duck. So Sportsbet have markets for players who haven't scored a try this season. These are odds. These odds are for players to score a try just once in the next 3 rounds. So here's some examples. Max Fainai from the Dragons, he's paying $1.68. Maverick Guy from the Panthers, Reynolds from the Broncos, Crossland from the Knights, Sexton from the Doggies, Fogarty from the Raiders, Starling, Hands from the Eels, Rayleigh from the Knights. So you can go to there on the Break the Duck. It should probably be in the NRL section, and you'll probably just be able to go into Break the Duck, anytime try scorer. Cool new thing to go check out, so make sure you go check that out. Give us a follow on the feed. Nearly at 17,000 followers, so just need 100 more, not even 100 more, maybe 50 more to get to 17,000, so give us a follow there because, yeah, let's get to 17,000. I just put on a cheeky little multi. I took Warriors with the line, Adam Fanua-Blake to score any time, and Kiraz to score any time. That's getting you 12.50 tonight. Ooh. That's getting you 12.50. That's juicy. And the reason why I went Adam Fanua-Blake, because he's so big, I wonder whether the Bulldogs forward pack will struggle with him a little bit closer to the line because they're a bit smaller. Kiraz my man. He's the dog. We love Kiraz. You know he's going to get over, and I think Warriors are going to get up for SJ's last game.
They have to, surely.
Surely they do.
Yeah.
It'll be like you basically go, and also it's like Adam Fanua-Blake's last game at the Warriors too. So at the Warriors home ground. So
there's a couple as well, like not just like I think Jazz Tavunga's gone. He's been around a while. Dylan Walker.
Big game for the Warriors. Big game for the Warriors. So that's on Sportsbet. Thank you as always to Sportsbet, our biggest supporter. We really do appreciate it. Last night, Manly, go down to the Tigers. 3 sin bins. Holy heckers. 3 should have been 4.
Could have been 4, yeah, for sure.
You know what's crazy is like the person that like Paseka should have been sent 10 to the bin before Waddell. And Waddell gets sent to the bin. Yeah, honestly, it should have probably been 4.
I was happy with Waddell's sin bin. I was more than happy with it.
Look, if Waddell was just in the line and he forearmed him like that, I would be like, penalty is sufficient. But when you shoot up like that, you have to take extra care.
Yeah.
So I was happy with Waddell. And I actually, if I'm being totally honest, I think Paseka should have gone as well.
Yeah, I agree. I'm actually quite the opposite to what a lot of people are saying. I thought Waddell's was probably a little bit worse, only because it was probably because A, it was first contact, and B, it was more of a swinging arm. And
I think people are saying Paseka is worse because the shoulder of the head is a harder contact.
For sure, and I don't disagree with that. It's just I thought both were pretty bad, to be honest.
Yeah, I think the fact that they were all shooting up makes it worse.
Yeah.
The other sin bin, which was Homole Olakawatu, like, yeah, I guess kind of bounced. Hammy was like, Hammy sent us a text. Sorry, Hammy, I'm exposing you here, brother. He sent us a text saying that Olam got sent for less. than the Olakawatu one. And no one responded in the group chat. I tried to divert it. I said, Brooks is having a shocker. Because I just was like, I don't think anyone wants to answer that. Because Hammy obviously is a massive Tigers fan. Brother, I love you, Hammy. But that wasn't even close to the Olam contest.
And I didn't reply as well because I was like, he's at the game.
You don't want to get in an argument with a bloke because he's a passionate West Tigers fan. So of course he's going to.
If it was South, I'd be the exact same.
Yeah, like and like you've actually said things like that in the.
Oh yeah, that I've regret.
And we just you just got to know when your mates in the passionate throes.
That's it.
Of a loss.
Yeah.
That they've been through some losses, and I think that if you are a good mate and your mate sends and he's watching rugby league and his team's had some losses or is potentially going to lose and he says something outrageous like the great Hammy, you just got to let it through the keeper, baby.
Let it go.
Let it through to the keeper. If you're a real friend and you care about them, because it's a dog act. I want to know in the comment section, is it a dog act? You know he's not thinking straight because he's a fan and his team is losing or it looks like they're going to lose. So you know he's in the throes of passion. He's not thinking straight. The 48-hour rule, we all know the 48-hour rule, the salty bitch rule. You've got 48 hours to be salty as shit after a loss. And so if you're a real mate, you don't get into an argument with him going, mate, like Olam was way worse.
You're right. That is dog. That is dog.
Because he's not thinking
straight. Yeah.
He's not. How many times have you been furious? And like as I get older, I just take a real deep breath now. Like when if I'm furious and I just go. Because I know I'm going to say things I regret. Whereas when I was younger, boom, I'm going. I'm just going to go. And so you say silly things and then whenever you're angry, and then the next day you wake up and you go, oh my God, I can't believe I said what I said last night or whatever.
The amount of times I've done that is crazy.
Happens all the time.
Even in just in that group chat.
Yeah, and you go, what was one that you said that was outrageous? No, it was actually, you know what? It was the Olam one.
Was it?
You said that it should have been a send-off.
Yeah.
That's not necessarily outrageous, but you were like, it should have been... No, there was another one as well, and we got further away from it, and you were like, yeah, I probably should have said that was send-off. Anyway, Matty is known to be very passionate in the group chat. So, Hammy, I love you, brother, and I'm sorry for outing you on the show, but that wasn't anywhere close to Olam's jumping into someone's head.
I remember one recently when... I'll admit, I actually did have a few beers before texting this one, but the Roosters and Dolphins played and the Roosters just beat them by like 4, and I think I just wrote in the group chat pretenders like 3 or 4 times and no one responded to me.
Yeah, because we knew you fucking hate the Roosters.
Yeah.
So let us know in the comment section, is it being a good mate by letting your mate say something a bit silly because he's in his passions? And look, you know what, Hammy, if you want to defend the statement and you weren't in your passions and you still believe it, then fair enough, mate. But I don't know. Look, I'd love to get your opinion, Matty. Did you think
it wasn't a sent off? No.
Did you think that was worse than Olam's?
Definitely not. No, not at all.
Honestly, Homole Olakawatu's one, like I was kind of in the mind of like maybe a penalty.
Yeah.
Like it like kind of slipped up off his shoulder.
Yeah, I definitely didn't mind that it was a bin, but it wasn't even close to a send off. And I didn't think sorry, I was on the lower end of Olam's. When that happened, I was
you're on the lower end of Olam's.
Yeah, I thought, I'm not mad with send off, but happy with sin bin. But yeah, no, that wasn't anywhere close to a send off.
Okay, this is exact. Olam got sent off for less than that in the same spot 3 weeks ago. Exclamation mark.
It's the exclamation mark that does
That's what I love. And then there's like crickets, and I write, Brooks is having a Barry. Hammy writes, good! Exclamation mark.
Hammy, what you hear on through your audio for YouTube, that is how Hammy talks and acts in real life.
Literally, constantly.
It's
constant.
Never
it's
off.
Constant. So, apologies for putting you on show, Hammy. We've all been there, mate. We've all been there. But yeah, so that's in bin. Look, I was okay with it. Look, to be honest, I got to say, it's the most impressed I've ever been with Seabold in that press conference after, because I was waiting for him to get on that press conference and just go boom straight at the refs. Really easy out. A lot of his fans in that 48-hour period as well would have like sided with him. Sorry, a lot of Manly fans would have sided with him. But mate, you can't look. Yeah, okay. If you want to argue a few of the calls, for sure, I get it. But you can't tell me that Manly side rocked up and played as good as we know they can play and weren't playing complacently.
No way.
They play, and that's what I liked about Seabold. He said we got what we deserved.
Yeah.
And I agree with him. I agree with him. Manly got what they deserved. They come out, get a 16-0 lead, and then they just took the foot off the pedal.
They'll never admit it, but they must have just got complacent. But 16-0
happens to everyone.
Yeah.
You know, I'm guilty of it when I played NRL. Like, if you're human beings get complacent.
Yeah.
It's not a shot at anyone or anything like that. Manly have been going so bloody well. I tell you what, talk about putting the mocker on teams. So the Titans, I come out, I'm like, Titans have turned a corner, I'm all on board, blah, blah, blah. What's crazy is for most of the year with Manly, I've been saying I don't see it. I just don't see it. I think they're a level below. I think they're, lucky to make finals. And then over the last few weeks, I've gotten convinced and been on the podcast sitting here going, mate, Manly might be the real deal.
Yep.
They've gotten rid of this. The biggest issue at the start of the year for Manly were huge leads and then just let the team back into it. So for the last 6 weeks, they'd gotten rid of that. They'd gotten a hard-nosed defence, just really, really good. And last night, they just played exactly like they did at the start of the season. And Seabold said exactly that. He said we had gotten rid of that and our defence had been really good. And so I just have, that is the most impressed I've ever been with Seabold, where he had the easy route where a lot of people would have backed him, but he took the harder route of saying, you know what, we got what we deserved. And I'm sure Seabold could probably nitpick and say, you know what, we didn't deserve this penalty or this symbol, whatever. But at the end of the day, he is right. The Manly Seagulls last night got what they deserved. Not to say that they deserved not to make the 8, but they went to the Tigers, they blew them off the park early, and they just went, you know what, this is going to come easy. And it didn't, unfortunately. Now, does this mean, Manly will still make the 8?
Yeah.
I still think Manly are, I still think they're a definite dark horse is kind of the word for them. I wouldn't say I'm super high on Manly. I'm probably higher on the Bulldogs to a degree.
Well, they're playing next week, so that's good.
But that will give me a good gauge. The Manly, I haven't lost hope for Manly. Just because when Tommy turned it on last night, put it this way, if you're frustrated as a Manly fan, and look, maybe you're right. Maybe as a Manly fan, you got totally dudded by the ref. That's an opinion, I totally respect it. But you can't tell me when Manly, the game was on the line and they thought they were going to lose it, you can't tell me their intensity lifted by about 20%. Towards the end, when they were chasing points, are you telling me the team after the first 20 minutes was as intense as the last 20 minutes?
It was night and day.
It was night and day,
Seriously.
which would show you that they were taking it for granted. Because what I liked about it, seeing Tommy Turbo back playing like that, where it was basically a cheat code, that has me scared for the final series if they can get their defence sorted, as in scared for the oppositions that play Manly.
Yeah, I agree. It was a terrible loss, but that doesn't gloss over the fact that was Tommy's best game of the year, I think. I think what sold it to me was his second try, where he, we know what he can do, but in 2021, when he was just running over people, he's back. He's back to 2021.
He was taking hit-ups in the middle of the field, just breaking the line.
It's ridiculous.
Actually ridiculous. Seeing that and just the passion and the anger and the kind of that energy of Tommy going, I am literally winning this game by myself. That's where I go, okay, this is a super disappointing night, but the fact that Tommy still has this kind of performance in the bag, where we're all certain going we've kind of never seen fullbacks with these kind of stats. I'll get it up. You keep talking. I'll get Tommy's stats up in a losing game.
Oh, it's crazy. And I think just going back to this thing again about the leads, obviously it's not ideal that they lost, because they've probably cost themselves a top 4 spot, which is devastating for them. But I'd be surprised if something like that happens again for the rest of the year. Surely it's a huge wake-up call.
If you want to be a glass half full guy, you could look at it you know what, that's almost the perfect loss. Because any player doesn't have any excuse to be complacent ever again in the season.
Yep.
You lost to the Tigers. So going at the bottom of the table. So if you can't be complacent against the Tigers, you can't be complacent against anybody.
Then that's a you problem. Yeah.
Okay, so Tommy Turbo last night, 3 tries, 19 runs, 244 metres, 65 post contact, 12 tackle breaks, 3 line breaks, a line break assist, and 3 tackles.
And he didn't get the try assist, but he was an important part of Hopewadi's try as well.
Yeah,
so.
he was unstoppable. Just cheat code. Absolute cheat code.
You love to see it. You just love to see it. There's nothing better than watching Tommy being Tommy.
So, once again, I talk up a team and say, I'm all pumped up about them, Manly, look at them go, and they come and have their worst performance of the year, just like the Titans. On top of that, Saab sat on the podcast last week just rapping him, saying he's really rounded his game out, and the poor fella has the worst game.
He just had a Barry. Yeah.
I felt sorry for Saab because, like, okay, of course, he should have, at the very least, like, the knock on at the dummy half, like, that's just a lapse of concentration, whatever. When the game was on the line, he should have definitely caught that pass. But he's been so consistent and so good all year, like, you kind of just, you can grant that to him to a degree. Like, I know in a perfect world he catches that and he scores. I just felt sorry for him because he'd been so good all year. It's
funny, I actually had a really, really similar thought. I was like, you don't earn a bad game, but fuck, he's been so good all year. And the shit he was copping online, it was just, yeah, I felt bad for him.
Like, think about how many times we've seen Saab absolutely gas his winger this year and give Manly points, whether it's a try of his own or a pass inside.
Yeah.
Like, we see it like nearly once a game. Yeah. And then against the Tigers, he misses one ball and you just go, I felt sorry for him. As I said, I'm not excusing it. He should have nailed it. But like, he didn't mean to do it. And look, it'd be different if, like, he was having, let's say he was already an established star, that he was like a coach's favourite, that the coach just refused to drop him, and he had a bunch of these in his game once a month. Like, once a month he had this kind of game. That's where I can be like, this is bullshit. He shouldn't be there. But he's been so good all year that I just go, you know what? This is just one of those nights. And also, like, if you want to blame Saab, blame the ill-discipline. Blame the 79 minutes before where you were 16-0 up. Like, of course Saab should have caught the ball. There's no denying that. But you shouldn't have been in that position in the first place where he needed to score to win.
Yeah, absolutely. You can blame him for that last play, but the whole team pretty much let the Tigers through.
Three sin bins.
Yeah. It's
three sin bins. And there were 6 penalties in a row. I will say...
They were so ill-disciplined.
So that's what I mean. Like,
it was crazy.
I will say, like, if you wanted to look at specifically the one that Bully Moore got sent off, that was a touch and go. Like, that was a tough call. However, they were warned, and there was 6 penalties in a row. Like,
I agree with the sin bin, 100%.
But that specific one, though, like, he didn't lie in the ruck forever. No. It was pretty quick.
Yeah.
I've watched it quite a few times. So I can understand where, if you could say, is that even a penalty? But in the context of the game, if I've just been warned, mate, you're going. If anyone does anything again, you're going. As soon as the ref calls my name, I'm bouncing straight up. So, unfortunately, the Manly, they just have themselves to blame. Like, it's just... That was just one of those games, and you'd rather it happen now than happen, like, in week 1 of the finals.
Exactly. Yeah.
I think the Manly bounce back. I think they're going to use this as a positive. And as I said, it's the most impressed I've ever been with Seabold. Like, I respect the fact that he walked in there. He said, we got what we deserve in this game. And, like, if your coach is talking like that, then your hope is that that's going to filter down to the rest of the playing group.
Yep.
So, I was super impressed. Like, if there's anything to glean from it, I really felt it was a press conference from DCE and Seabold that said, no, we deserve it. We'll be better next week.
Yep.
I like to hear that.
It just stings for them that it's such a log jam on that 4th to kind of 8th. And
they could have made the 4.
They could have made the 4. That's the disappointing thing.
They're definitely going to
make,
like, the Dolphins pretty much have to win every game for them to drop out.
I think they'll make the 8.
So, because right now the Dolphins are the only ones that can really challenge them. So the Dolphins sit on 26 points, the Dragons 28, and the Seagulls 31.
Yeah.
So the Dolphins essentially have to win every game.
And if Manly drop their next 2 games against the Dogs and the Sharks, well, they don't deserve to be there anyway. So I think
that's the thing. Even if they drop both games, Dolphins still need to win every game.
Yeah.
And they're playing Broncos and Storm heading home.
Oh, they're fine.
Broncos, they need, like, things to go their way as well. They're on 24 points, so they would need, like, win every game, and Dragons to drop pretty much every game. So, Manly are in. Manly will make the finals.
Yeah.
That'd be
I can't imagine they'll drop both those games and the Dolphins will get those wins.
But that'd be insane.
Yeah, that'd be crazy.
Because the Dolphins are frigging playing the Storm this week.
Yeah. Exactly.
Like, fucking hell.
It's funny. I just said before, I'm like, they should beat the Bulldogs and Sharks. I haven't got it in my head yet that the Dogs are good.
Yeah.
It's so weird. They're actually 2 pretty hard games.
Dogs are like one of the form teams. The Dogs have the best defense in the comp.
It's crazy. It just hasn't clicked yet.
Arguably, right now they're one of the scariest teams to play. They have the best defense in the comp. It's crazy. It's crazy. So yeah, disappointing for Manly. On to the Tigers. Whoa,
Oh, how good.
What a win. You know what? Obviously I tipped Manly. I thought Manly were going to win quite well, but I'm just so happy for the Tigers. You know, it was the first night all year where they just got some luck. Like,
Oh, yeah, they did.
Some calls went their way. The ball bounced their way. There were Tommy, Samuel Afenu knocked the ball out. Tommy knocked it, Jason Saab drops the ball. All these little things.
Galvin's kick that torped.
Straight back in. All of these little things. Like ricochets back into Fainu. He scored. All of the little things that have gone wrong for the Tigers this year.
Yeah.
They go right.
And on the flip side as well, they've been getting sin-binned all year. Finally, the other team gets sin-binned.
And they win a penalty count as well.
Yeah.
It's just one of those nights where they got a bit of luck, but at the same time, they fought their way back in to get the rewards of that luck. Because, Manly start really well, and then Tigers find a way to fight their way back in. Then Tigers start falling off a cliff, and Manly start coming home. But they just hang on. Really, it must be so hard being a Tigers fan and even as a Tigers player, because when you look at it and you go, oh, well, they're sitting dead last again, you'd say, well, where's the improvement? But when you actually watch them play, they are playing way better rugby league than what they were playing last year.
Put it this way, I can't remember the exact score, but Manly played the Tigers around this time last year. And Manly, I'm pretty sure, put 40 or 50 on them. And I'm pretty sure it was the game that Cooler played fullback and had 300 metres, and they just tore them to pieces.
Yeah.
Whereas they've beaten them this year.
Yeah.
I think I've said it before. If this Tigers team played last year's Tigers team this year's would smoke them.
Yeah.
Even though they come
absolutely. And so I'm really happy for the Tigers boys. Mate, Samuel Fainu for me.
He's a beast.
He's a beast. Gets put out to centre and he does a job out there. And just that last try, mate, he is scary. I don't think he gets the appreciation he deserves.
He doesn't.
We've been talking about him on the podcast pretty much all year long.
Yep.
I remember when he first, might even be at a trial. I remember saying, fuck.
No, I tell you when it was. It was last year's under-20s origin. Because he was the captain.
He was a captain. And I was like, damn, this guy is good. But I remember in this trial going, this Fainu's kid's impact every time, because he didn't at the start of the year, he wasn't a starting player. As a matter of fact, he was lucky to be on the bench. And it's been purely through his crazy form that they've been moving Papali'i to a middle or Bateman into the middle, and Fainu has kept that edge because he's been so good. And last night, he was outstanding for me. Just that last try too. What I liked about that last try is the youthful, no, we're not tucking the ball under and waiting for you guys to have one more crack at us. Because most teams would have said, let's just try to kick it in goal. Or not even kick, we'll be too risk averse, because if we kick it in goal, it's a 7-tackle set. Most teams would have said, you know what, let's get tackled in the corner and we'll defend. What I love is Galvin said, no, I'm going to try and score some points here and just end the game. He goes, bang, gets the ball to Fainu, shows strength, footwork, boom, over.
Youthful arrogance.
Mate, Fainu for me has been top 3 player in the Tigers all year long. All year long.
Yep, I'll pay that for sure.
I think that a lot of the chat has been around Galvin, rightly so. Galvin's been great, but Fainu's not far off for me. That's how good he's been. And think about it. It's one thing, if you're a rookie 7 or whatever, it's one thing to be good as a teenager, because forwards is notoriously a bit older when you get your man strength or whatever. To come in at such a young age and be able to deal with the physical battle.
Dominate really big people.
Yeah, Samuel Afenu has done that. Whereas Galvin, he's dominating people with his mind and his brains on the footy field. Don't get me wrong, he's also been good physically as well, really good in defence. But Fainu, as a teenager, usually you just don't have that physical strength to be able to impose your weight on the game. But Fainu's done that. He's done that. He's been outstanding. They've got to make sure he's locked up.
Lock him up. Yeah.
Crazy. So he actually came from Manly.
Yep.
Which is jeez.
I think he debuted at Manly. So
he's Manly.
Yeah.
Jeez, what a loss. What a loss.
Huge loss. I guess his brother as well. They kind of both went.
Both went. But could you imagine Olakuatu and Fainu on each edge? Holy shit.
Frost.
Yeah, so I thought Fainu was outstanding. Galvin kept turning up. The Api Coruscant try. A try that only Api Coruscant could score.
Yeah.
Seriously. A try that only Api Coruscant could score.
I love how he pointed at the offside marker. And
as he's running, he's just going like that. Boom, 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 duck, head spin, whatever you want, try time. I think as well, another guy I thought, especially his first stint, Alex Twal, in his first stint, literally changed the momentum of the game. And also, like, his stats were bloody good too. So he ended up playing 44 minutes. He had 15 runs, 130 metres, 56 post contact, and only 2 tackle breaks. So we're talking about, that's just pure grunt work. That's not line breaks or tackle breaks or whatever. At one stage, it was like 12 runs, 120 metres. That's 10 metres a run.
Yeah.
Like, that's bloody good.
Yeah.
I thought Alex Twal, Fanua Bole was really good in attack as well.
Fanua Bole was one for me. He was...
Yeah, just defensively, him and Stefano, like, the thing with Stefano is in attack, he's solid. Just defensively with his line speed sometimes, though, just really gets found out. Like the try, the break that Bullymore made, that was between Bole, Stefano and Api. Stefano didn't get the best line speed. Then Bole got in front of him, and then Api wasn't communicating. Or maybe he wasn't. Maybe he was communicating, they weren't listening, and they just open up a gap. And then the try that Tommy scored was once against Stefano. Probably should have got a bit better line speed.
Yep.
When he goes to Melbourne, that'll all get sorted.
That's what I was thinking, yeah. He's going to the right place to fix all that stuff up.
But in attack, he was good. I thought in attack he was really good. Really put him on his back to, make some, impact. Heath Mason had some really good moments. Just a gutsy win, and they deserve it. They've been hanging in there. Safe's line for his try was great. Just a really good night that they can get around.
I like that we saw a bit of Laitu Fainu as well.
Yeah.
Weave his magic around.
I just hope, you sometimes you see a young fella like that with so much talent, you can see that he's got the talent. Just make sure that he rounds his game out. Do the boring stuff. Because the fun stuff, the no-look pass, the hitting short, all that stuff, he clearly has talent in spades. But if he can focus in on the boring stuff, then boom. That's like, he'll be well-rounded. Almost like, a bit like Katoa at the Dolphins. Like, he can do all the no-look passing and stuff, but since he's gone to the Dolphins, he's worked on all the boring stuff.
Yeah.
And he's already doing as well as he is. So, really, really good win for the Tigers. Stoked for him. Fainu, for me, has just been such a revelation on the edge there. Obviously, Galvin too, but we all talk about Galvin all the time. But yeah, Fainu, just that last try. All class, refusing to die, the youthful exuberance of like, no, we're not waiting for you to have another crack at us. We're just going to score a try and end the game. Yeah.
If they, this is a big ask, but you look at the Doggies, like their defensive DNA that they have. If Tigers get some sort of defensive DNA, then who knows what they could be. Because with the ball, they're awesome.
Yeah, they're pretty good with the ball. So it's just the defence that you sort out. All right, we've picked 2 of these to get it done this round for the bloke multi. That is the get off your duck try scorer. So Max Fine and Adam Reynolds will get you $16 for this week. Not round 26 or 27, but any time try scorer of Fine, Adam Reynolds, the bloke in a bar multi, it's $16. So go to NRL Weekly Hub, boom, you'll be able to get it. Or go to my feed, so you go to settings, more feed, give us a follow, and you can just copy the bet from there. Don't forget as well, Jake Clifford is our Menulog Hungriest Player of the Week. Use code Clifford for free delivery. Minimum spend is $30. So Clifford for free delivery. So if you're going to order a meal to your house this weekend, download the Menulog app. You get a free delivery with the code Clifford, and you're supporting Bloke, and also you're supporting Menulog. Menulog supporting us, support partners to support us. Announcement, Pacific Championship. Literally announced this morning. Men's Pacific Cup is Australia, New Zealand, Tonga. Men's Pacific Bowl, Cook Islands, Fiji, PNG. Samoa will undertake a tour of England in the men's. Women's Pacific Cup, Australia, New Zealand, PNG. Women's Pacific Bowl, Cook Islands, Fiji, Samoa, and Tonga, commencing October 2024. Stacey Jones confirmed New Zealand that he has pledged his allegiance.
Did I write that wrong?
Oh, okay, no.
Roger
Yeah. We'll get to that after this little segment. Look, I love this. I will say, I do think they need to set up something that, like a relegation system or something. So, for example, if Australia, New Zealand, Tonga play each other and Tonga come third again, maybe, Samoa goes into that
Well, I think
role.
they did switch. I think Tonga went to England last year.
You're right. They did too, didn't they?
Yep.
Oh, well, there you bloody go.
Yeah, so it's kind of...
So it has kind of
have.
worked out like that. Yeah, okay. I don't know. Yeah, it was Samoa, wasn't it? Yeah, okay. Well, that's awesome then. Yeah, awesome. I think that, like, I would like more, probably like, I'm being greedy here, but if you could get England and Samoa in that comp too, that would be cool.
Maybe I'm being greedy. I'd like a little foresight. Like, it's already August. Shouldn't have this been announced a while ago?
Yeah. I mean, I feel sorry for the players. Like, their families are sitting there going, we've barely seen you all year. Oh, and by the way, now it's just been announced that we're not going to see you in the off-season as well.
Yeah.
But, yeah, look, the good thing is we've got rugby league, and I tell you what, that match between Australia and New Zealand, there's going to be some feeling. There is going to be some feeling. Cannot wait for that. All the other games obviously cannot wait, but the huge news. And your favourite Palangi, well, I don't know if I'm your favourite Palangi anymore, but Kefe Kemps, I'll let the people speak. I'll let the people speak. Maybe I'm your most hated Palangi. I don't know, but Kefe Kemps is back because Roger Tuivasa-Sheck has pledged his allegiance to Samoa. Samoa and RTS. How good is that? That just shows you, like, that wouldn't have happened, 10 years ago. And, like, he would have made the Kiwi squad. Like, I know that he hasn't set the world alight, but it was Stacey Jones that has confirmed.
Well, Stacey Jones said in his quote he wanted him to play for New Zealand.
Yeah.
And he said, sorry.
And RTS said Samoa. How good is that? Like, that's where we're getting to. That's where we're getting to. Like, we're so close. Like, we're so close to getting a position where the best of the best are playing for whatever heritage they want to play for. It just wouldn't have happened 10 years ago. You wouldn't see a guy like RT. You'd see him play for the New Zealand. I mean, we saw it. He played for the Kiwis. Played really well. So I love this for Samoa. Like, that backline, holy shit.
There's going to be quality players left out of that team.
Like, gun players. Like, you've got Suoli'i.
Like, who's going to be fullback? You're going to put Fa'alogo there. You're going to put Roger there.
It's just... Like, it's genuinely so good. You've got Luai an extra year. Obviously, we've seen him play 7 now. It is so exciting. It is so exciting to see RTS play for Samoa, and it just, like, it makes the game better. It really does. And I hope that there just gets more young kids, because, like, I'd love to get a predicted Samoan squad up, like what it looks like with with an RTS.
Well, while you search that, we were talking about Taumalolo the other day. Geez, him and Fafita's defection to Tonga, what was that, like 6 or 7 years ago, is going to be remembered as like a landmark time for international rugby league. It really did.
It changed the game, and it's an incredible moment. Now we're seeing RTS play for Samoa.
Yeah.
Like, you used to see, a lot of Samoan, Mausos. You see Mausos, someone in the comment section always joking about, like, come play for your heritage in the comments. Like 4 or 5 years ago, you would see it. But it's a reality now. It's not a joke anymore of, like, well, this is where you're really from. Come play for Samoa. Like, it's a reality. And I love that for the Samoan nations because, of course, like, if you're from Samoa or Tonga and, you see blokes that were born there and they've moved to different countries and you understand why they play for New Zealand or Australia because opportunities or, like, they probably love the country too, but it's also, we have to be real here. Like, money is a thing. Supporting your family matters. Like, we have to be real here. But if you're a Samoa or a Tongan, you'd get frustrated because you'd like, well, hang on a sec, like half your Kiwi side, that's a Samoan side. But because we don't have the resources that New Zealand have, and not to say that it's New Zealand's fault or Australia's fault, like, it's just because it's a growing game. But now it's getting to a point, like, this is the back line that they could be rolling out. Roger Tuivasa-Sheck at the back. Suoli'i, Murray Talangi, Stephen Crichton, and Brian To'o.
Oh, my God.
Some of the players that would miss out. Blaze Talangi, Talau, Marju, and I didn't even mention Fa'alongo.
That could be better than the Aussie backline.
100% it could be. Like, 100%. Because we know what Roger can do at the back there. Murray Talangi is literally an origin player.
Yep.
Critter, origin player. Suoli'i, origin player. To'o, origin player. Like, To'o would make the Australian side.
Yep.
Critter would make the Australian side. Talangi has made the Australian side.
Yep. Roger would make the Kiwi side.
Suoli'i would probably be in the squad for us.
Yep.
So we're getting to a point where it's getting better Like they're genuinely better. Like, and it's like
Jeez.
the Kiwi pack last year was better than the Australian pack,
And it showed.
and it showed. You saw it.
Man, I'm spewing Samoa. No disrespect, just because I'm an Australian fan, but I wish Samoa were playing Australia now.
Yeah, I'd love to see it.
Yeah.
I'd love to see it. So yeah, I'm stoked for Samoa. I'm just stoked for Samoa and Tonga. And now the challenge is like when you look at these rosters, now it's about building foundations and systems and making sure that you take advantage of the growth that is happening right now, because who knows what could happen in 10 years. You know, Tonga beat Australia, 4 or 5 years ago now?
Yeah, 2019.
Samoa made a World Cup grand final. Who says Samoa can't beat, Australia in a couple of years or whatever? Like, it can happen. They beat England and they bloody made a World Cup grand final.
Yep.
So absolutely stoked. And let us know in the comments section what will be the Samoan backline, full backline. Because you'd go Luai at 7.
Yep.
Then
Who'd be the
6?
six?
Who would be 6? We're probably blanking on
Yeah,
someone
let me check the
hectic.
last World Cup.
Milford, I think, was 6. Him and Luai. And then Critter played a little bit of 6, I think, as well.
Yep.
But yeah, their backline will be unbelievable. And look, the Samoa and Tongan forward packs have always been elite. Like, that's never been a question. So I cannot wait. I seriously cannot wait.
What about Critter's already Samoa's top point scorer?
That's so what a career this man's having.
Let me just get...
And this is another little thing. Like,
Last game.
you're getting a guy like Critter, who's currently the captain of the form team of the competition. Like, that's one of the NRL's best leaders. Now leading Samoa. Like, that's huge.
So in the last game, I'm pretty sure Luai was out because of the his shoulder injury, but
okay.
DJ Nazi was the halfback and Critter was 6.
Okay, so Critter was 6. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was the 6 jersey is a bit iffy.
Yeah.
They just need to find a 9 and a 6, and they're pretty much set.
Yeah. Oh, you're right. In the World Cup, it was Milford. Milford was 7 in the game they played Australia.
Yep. So they just need a 9 and a 6, and they're literally set because they're front row and everything. Wide running forwards are incredible.
Hang on.
Backline.
What about Harris Tavita? He can.
There you go. Boom, he can play.
He can play.
Yep.
There you go.
So you've got Luai, Harris, Tavita most likely.
Yeah.
Fuck, it's not bad.
That's a good back line.
That's not bad. The only thing I miss, though, is like Tonga and Samoa should play each other.
Oh, bloody oath they should.
They should absolutely play each other.
They should play each other in a one-off series if they want.
They
like
should
a
play each
three-game
other
series.
minimum once a year. Like every single year, we should be watching Samoa versus Tonga.
It could be Origin. It really could.
Spending like you give it the resources, you build it up. It absolutely. So stoked, absolutely stoked for Samoa at RTS, and imagine RTS with that jersey on. How cool it's going to be.
Oh, I can't wait.
Okay. Jack Bird still on the Tigers. There are reports that they have met with Jack Bird and are considering offering him a multi-year deal from next season. And also, don't forget, guys, Monday, 6 p.m, Bloke spray jackets and OG Bloke shirts. So don't miss out. Limited supply, guys. And we've still got some blue, maroon, and green and gold Bloke shirts as well if you want to grab them whilst you're there for Father's Day. Great gift. I mean, look, a Bloke shirt for Father's Day? You serious? You know the old man will be stoked. Multi-year offer potentially from the Tigers. Look, the only question with Jack Bird, it's never about his form. It's never about his ability. It's just like hoping he can stay on the field.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, definately.
Been so unfortunate with injuries.
He's been unlucky. I reckon he'd be good for the Tigers. You could plug him anywhere, and they've got such a young team. So,
But the problem is that the injuries.
yes.
Like the problem is you don't want to sign him on a big 2-year deal, and he only plays 20 games. But if his body is good, then absolutely he's good. He's good for any club, Jack Bird.
Yeah.
Like Jack Bird could probably, Jack Bird injury free, could land on any bench in the NRL.
Oh, for sure
Like
he could.
Penrith, you name it, Jack Bird is good enough to play on any team in the NRL.
I remember his debut year for the Sharks. I think his second game he played 5'8", and he just tore the Roosters apart. He's such a good player, but you're right, especially that Broncos stint. He's just so unlucky with injury.
So unlucky. So hopefully he can stay on the field. Don't forget, all 8 games are live and ad-free during play on KO. Some key games this week are Warriors versus Bulldogs, Raiders versus Panthers, and Storm versus Dolphins, exclusive to Fox League and available on KO. Broncos, Corey Horsburgh has been linked to the Broncos. He reportedly met with Kevin Walters. Billy Walters also hit back at people questioning whether Kevin Walters was the man for the job. It's pretty red hot from a few. I suppose, fake fans to say Kevy's not the right man for the job. He took this team from wooden spoon to within 5 minutes of the grand final, so I think it's pretty red hot to try and turn around after one season with the injuries we've had to say he's not the right man for the job. Look, I agree with Billy in regards to if you're already saying Kevy should go, it's like, fucking
hold up.
woo up.
Yeah.
Like, let's just fucking woo up. That's just fucking crazy talk. But if you're saying, look, things need to be looked at, reviewed, why the massive fall off from last year and all of that, that's very reasonable. And so what Billy is specifically saying here is 100% correct. Like, saying Kevy's not the man for the job, it's like, mate, do you remember the shit fight that he had when he came into this club? And yes, granted, you do have to look at 14th, 9th, 2nd, and then, 9th or 10th or whatever. You have to look at that and go, we are better than this. And I know that the club has had injuries for sure, and you can't deny that. But a lot of other clubs have had injuries too. Like, you cannot... Two things can be true. You shouldn't be questioning Kevy whether he's the man for the job right now, but you can also say this year hasn't been good enough. Those things can be true.
Yeah.
And I think most reasonable fans will say that. Like, well, that's where I stand anyway. Like, this year hasn't been good enough, including all the injuries. Like even with those injuries, I still think we're a better team than where we're ending. But at the same time, Kevy absolutely deserves more opportunity next year to really go into the year and have a red hot crack.
Kind of echo. Like, I understand that it's been an injury-riddled year, but look at the game against the Bulldogs. Like, I know Payne and Ezra were injured, but like, that team should not have got pumped like that. Like, it's been a very disappointing year, but to say that Kevy should go now, I mean, talk to me in a year's time. If they're still doing this, then sure. But I think it's crazy talk.
Yeah, so like, that's crazy. But I do think that they need to look at, like, why did we go from the second best defensive team in the comp to like the 13th or 14th or whatever we are at the moment, 10th or whatever it is? Like, what happened there? Like, what did we do at training last year that, changed this year or whatever it is? And I'm sure they are doing that. Like, I'm sure there is no one, including the players, including Billy, that's sitting there going, yeah, 9th or 10th all right.
No way.
I'm sure they're not.
Yeah.
I'm sure they're not. So it's just a matter of, like, Kevy should go into next year with a fresh start. And then, judge Kevy's performances next year. And I'm sure Kevy's sitting there going, fuck, I don't want to be sitting outside the 8 next year. Like, I don't think that's good enough either. I think judge your performances next year. Midway through the year, I think you'll have a good idea of, like, probably where the Broncos are at.
Yep.
If they're back in the top 4, or top 6 even, getting some good wins under their belt, you can say, you know what, last year was a bit of a write-off. We got unlucky with some key injuries, plus also we lost some key players to other clubs. If they're battling again outside the top 8 and they're sitting at 10th, then you can say, well, hang on a sec, like, some really serious conversations need to have with key players. But that's next year.
Yeah. Yeah. I totally agree.
It's not this year. This year is way too early to be having those conversations.
You wouldn't be taking any steps forward picking a new coach for next year. That wouldn't make any sense.
It wouldn't make any sense. And like, although other teams have had injuries, if you want to make the argument that, like, Broncos have had key injuries in key positions and blah, 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 then maybe it's just like, well, those other teams just handle the injuries better. That's something that we need to get better at, is handling injuries better. I don't know. Like, so, yeah, I think that people calling Ellie is a bit crazy.
Yeah, no.
That doesn't mean that the Broncos shouldn't have a really close look. Like, what was Kevy doing this year in regards to, like, is there anything Kevy can do to improve his performance as a coach heading into next year? Like, we absolutely as a club should review the whole system and say, why do we go from here to here?
Oh, you can review the year without
saying
punting
some
your
bloke should be
coach.
sacked.
Yeah.
It's craziness. Alrighty, into tips. Warriors v the Doggies. Who you got here?
Doggies just keen for a butt.
Yeah, man, this is a good one. Broncos Eels.
Bronx.
Raiders Panthers.
Panthers, but very interested to see the Panthers, how they finish this year without Cleary.
Melbourne Dolphins.
Melbourne.
South Newcastle.
Knights.
Titans Roosters.
Roosters.
Dragons and the Nulla.
A lot of people are tipping Dragons, but I'm going Sharks. I think they're getting a lot of players back, so I'm going Sharks.
Who are they getting back? Trindle.
Wilton, Iro. and one more, which I'm forgetting.
Man, imagine if the Dragons beat them, like Flano will fucking.
It would be good. I would love to see
on
it.
Flano's face. But saying that, I love Fitzgibbon as well.
I like both of them. Yeah, it's great. I love what Flanagan is bringing to rugby
Doesn't
league.
Fitzy just like fly under the radar though?
Absolutely.
You never hear any dramas. Like he's just so cruisy under the radar.
Who was it? It might have been Nicola on your podcast says that like he's up doing wrestling with the boys and like he's just a crazy psychopath. But
just an ultimate professional.
Yeah,
ultimate professional.
Like if you can't do what I'm doing, then what are you doing here?
Well, think about this. Since like he's taken over, I can't remember more than 1 week where he's been in the headlines.
I can't remember any weeks really.
Like I think there was 1 week where he was talking about people calling him like pretenders or whatever. Outside of that, like think about how many games have been played, and you haven't seen him on Fox News saying like Fitzgibbon blows up about this decision or has a go at the refs or defends his player.
That's such a good point. You're right. I haven't heard anything.
Never hear anything.
And it's been 3 seasons now. Far out.
Like Todd Payton, you hear stuff.
Yep.
Seabold, you hear stuff. Like
even like Trent Robertson, you hear stuff.
Even
Cleary.
Robbo.
Yeah.
Like, but Fitzy in his 3rd year, like as a rookie coach heading in, never any headlines. Like he just flies under the radar so well.
Fuck, you're right. I've even heard stuff from Serraldo, Webster's a little bit, but yeah, nothing from Fitzy.
And Fitzy has Nico Hines, one of the biggest superstars in the game. It's like it's just so well done. Like ultimate professionalism.
Love it.
Alrighty, that's us done and dusted. Don't forget, guys, Monday 6 p.m. Please, if you want to support the show, grab a jacket, grab a shirt. We'd really, really appreciate it. And yeah, as usual, I'll go fuck myself. Thank you.
Imagine what you could be buying instead. For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.